Welcome to Stop Dieting and Start Living podcast. I am your coach, Natalia Rodriguez, and I will be guiding you to get in the best shape of your life for the rest of your life by combining my coaching experience with the psychology behind the human eating behaviors and some simple brain science. Get ready to be coached by me. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode. So I have many people around me that is telling me, hey Natalia, I don't diet anymore. I eat everything I want, but I don't lose weight. So in this episode, I want to talk about what is next after you stop dieting and you start listening to your body. It comes down to some habits that you can slowly build, that you can use in combination with eating more intuitively, so you can have a consistent weight loss path. This will help you to differentiate when you eat following your body cues versus emotional eating, for example. But before I start, I want to say thank you for sticking around with me. And if you're new, welcome. And remember, all your feedback is very much appreciated. This podcast at the end is for you. So any comments, suggestions, also compliments, I love to hear them. Feel free to write me an email or Instagram. I'm also very active there. So see all the links on the episode notes. And thank you for being here. Now sit, relax for the next couple of minutes, and let's get started. So, okay, you say, Natalia, I'm not dieting anymore. I am not losing any weight. On the contrary, you feel your clothes are getting a bit tighter. Well, I know that feeling. And you may be thinking to go into another diet just to lose the weight and then start eating more intuitive after. So let me tell you, that doesn't work. And you will stay in a perpetual cycle feeling frustrated over and over again. First, let me tell you that just stop dieting and start listening to your body cues, eating whatever you want, is not as simple as it sounds. It takes time and practice to understand real hunger and satisfaction from overeating from bad habits, or emotionally overeating, or eating salad when you really wanted pizza. So how to know when is your body and not your mind? Especially if you have been eating under menu plans, dieting for a long time, fearing eating carbs or sugar, or counting calories, mainly following food rules. It takes time to free yourself from that. So it's not as simple as eating whatever and eat when hungry, stop when full. It needs time. The good news with this is that you can do it by practicing constantly. Some simple habits that I will talk to you here in this podcast, you can learn them, and it will be like reconnecting when you were a baby, because we all were born with this. The reason you gain weight in the first place is because you still have food rules. You restrict and then loosen up. You restrict while life is stable and you can keep the diet rules. But then you overeat when life gets a little bit more relaxed, like when you are on holidays, or you overeat when it gets a little bit more stressful. And that is why people gain the weight in the first place. So you're thinking more short term instead of long term. And that short vision is making you stay stuck. So when you finally lose the diet mentality, you will forget about diet rules for real. You will trust more your body, and you will stop doubting about if is this good or not to eat. This is what you want versus what you should be eating. And you will end up eating the same way every day. That doesn't mean you will eat the same foods, but you will end up eating in the same way, feeling your body every day in the same way. Not judging the food you're eating or how much you're eating, is just following your body. Your body is the boss when it comes to food. So you will learn to follow him, and it doesn't matter if you're on holidays, it doesn't matter if it's weekend, it doesn't matter if it's during the week, it doesn't matter if you're stressed, it doesn't matter if you have your period or anything. You will eat in the same way, following the same habits, following your body cues. That means you will respect your body because he knows what is best. You will lose the weight you always wanted at the end. Plus, you will be able to maintain it effortlessly. But chances are that getting out of this dieting mentality will cause you to gain a little bit of weight because you may overeat a bit until food becomes normal again. And only after that happens is when you can start pivoting into losing weight or maintaining without obsessing about it. That is a very crucial part of the process. Losing the diet mentality means as well doing the work to love your body for the right reasons, what it does for you instead of how it looks. You see, trying to change your body from a place of hate doesn't work. I highly recommend you to go back a few episodes where I talk about body image. I think it's episode 21. Remember that what we consider beautiful comes from what marketing put in our heads, the magazines and the society taught us. In reality, we are already all beautiful. And what we need to do is acknowledge more that. But so in simple terms, you have to do the work. Stop dieting doesn't mean gain weight, but some people do, depending on how deprived they were before or they used to live. In my case, and for many clients, this has been the case. We need to step in front of this fear of gaining weight, practice the habits, trust the process, recognize how true hunger feels, different from emotional hunger. Practice it until it becomes your new normal. And from there, reincorporate more healthful foods into your life. So once you are listening to your hunger, in case you are not so sure how it feels, it should feel in your belly. It's not in your head. It is a little bit of discomfort sensation in your belly. It feels like a whole empty stomach. I used to think, actually, that was the point when I thought I was actually starving, when I want to run to eat something. And actually not. That was when I was starting to feel hunger. And I was starting to feel actually angry and desperate and perhaps grumpy. And that's not okay. That's when you are attaching the feeling hunger with your emotions. And that's something that society kind of taught us that it's okay, but it's not. If you feel that way, you want to start feeling comfortable with that feeling and start telling yourself that it's okay to feel it. Hunger is not an emergency. I talk more about this in episode 19, about how hunger is actually your friend. So it is like feeling cold or hot. You still have some time that you can live with the feeling without actually dying, actually weeks. So all the feeling you may feel at the moment that pops up are just part of a habit, a bad habit. And because society makes us believe feeling hunger is bad, because they want you to eat and eat and eat and buy all their products at once. Now, when you already know when to eat, that is when you feel hungry, is then when you want to eat what you really want to eat. Not only what you planned or what you should be eating. Is what is in your head. What are you really craving? For many, this is a hard one because we have been ignoring that voice since forever. Because we have been told those are bad foods and we are into dieting for so long that we only think that eating salads, chicken or broccoli is good and what we should be having. So that tend to blur those feelings from beliefs that we had from the diet culture. That is why the recommendation is to add trigger foods in every meal. So even if you don't feel like it at the beginning, for example, I was not happy eating chocolate for breakfast, but that gave my body the confidence to ask for whatever foods he wanted to. I was not judging. That is how you can build some body trust. But it takes time and you need to be consistent with it for a while. So if you eat 3 or 4 meals a day, avoiding the snacking, so you will like to include the food you want to snack in to your meals, you will start detaching those emotional feelings and follow your true hunger. Snacking, it's a hunger killer. So always eat 3 to 4 meals a day. It's a great guideline for everyone. It's easy to follow. It's proven that it works. Thousands of women have done it and it really works. And once you eat a meal, make sure that the things you choose to eat are keeping you full for 4 or 5 hours. That is how you know it was a good portion. So when you start to know how hunger feels, you can start playing with it. So you know if you're super hungry, you're feeling the stomach pain in your belly, but then you want to have a dinner with your family 2 hours after, you will know that a small portion will do the work for 2 hours to keep you full until you get hungry again to eat with your family. In the future, you will become an expert of your hunger and you will be able to eat according to that, and you will know how much will keep you full for how long. After this comes the habit of eating just enough. And that's also super important. I have a good friend that I thought that she was a natural slim woman, but then I noticed that she was overeating a lot during her meals. But how she kept being slim? Well, she used to eat only 2 times a day. And she's very strict with this rule. I think she eats lunch, she skips breakfast, and then she has dinner. But her food portions on every meal are huge because first she's super hungry. She allows herself to get so hungry that she eats everything that is in front of her, and she eats a lot. She can go for second or third portions because, of course, she needs to hang on 6-7 hours for the next meal. So the problem with this rule is that it doesn't matter if I serve her food or she serves it herself, she will always seek this full sensation in her belly. So that is not helpful, especially if you want to keep a healthy body weight. So she every year struggles a little bit with this, especially if she doesn't have so much activity. That is a habit that makes her gain some weight when life is not so good with her, because she will always seek this fullness, comfort, and cleaning the plate constantly. That is why learning to eat just enough is crucial for long-term success, to lose and maintain your weight. You can use the hunger scale that I talked about in episode 1. This scale rates your hunger 1 to 10. 1 is super hyper hungry, when you even feel lightheaded, like after you pass the irritable signal, and 10 is feeling literally sick from eating way too much, that you cannot even walk. So the advice is to stay consistently between number 3 and 6 every time you eat. I will post on Instagram this week the scale with a more complete explanation, so stay tuned for that. And something that wraps all these habits and ideas into one is creating the habit that is helpful and kind of a ritual to eat, and is try to always eat sitting in the table and plate your food in a medium-sized plate, could be 9 inches or this is 22 centimeters, and eat your food without distraction. That is because it will give you the awareness to know when you have enough, even if your mind tells you to eat more. And lastly, avoid the snacking. Find the portions that make you to feel full for 4 or 5 hours, and then you won't have to worry about food anymore. Now, if you do follow that already and you still don't lose weight, you can add a few techniques to create a natural calorie deficit. The first one is to wait 30 to 60 minutes to eat from the moment you feel the empty stomach sensation. Avoid going over 60 minutes. Getting overly hungry is not helpful either. And another one is to eat slowly and very mindfully until you nail that you eat just enough. Eat enough in the hunger scale between 5 and 6. And that one needs a lot of practice. You need to eat slowly and very mindfully until you nail it and you do it consistently. Those 2 tips will give you the calorie deficit you need when you eat when hungry and when you eat with awareness. So if you are doing this constantly, it will take some time, but when you nail this almost in every meal, eating without distractions and noticing when you eat enough and when actually eating too much doesn't feel okay and actually it feels uncomfortable, it will become more and more obvious. And you will start intuitively eating just enough, even to the point to know if 1 or 2 more bites will make you pass to the level 6 or 7 in the hunger scale, for example. And if is that the normal for you, creating the calorie deficit will be tricky. So you will see how 2 or 3 bites less from your plate may not be a big issue. The food will stay there and satisfy you, and you will still feel comfortable full for the rest of the day. These are the habits you can slowly practice one by one. Avoid trying them all at once. Start with one at a time, and when you master one, move to the next one, and so on. That is how in a year time, or even less, you will be looking back in the best body shape probably, and not having to worry about dieting ever again. You will see how easy it is to follow your body guidelines. I'm aware that learning all of this takes time and consistency. I am here for anything you need. I help my clients to keep them accountable on this, because at the end, you know what you should be doing, right? You feel that your body is telling you, hey, let's work out, but you don't do it because it's easy to lose the focus. And with having someone by your side that encourages you and guide you to the path becomes easier, and perhaps you will get faster than doing it on your own. Don't be scared to reach for help if you ever need it. I believe in you. Thank you for listening, and I hope you liked this episode. And if you did, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That will support my cause, that is to impact as many of you to stop dieting and start living. For more information, you can find the link in the episode notes. I am also very active on Instagram, where you will find tons of information. Have a great one. Lots of love. Your coach, Nat.